All right, and we're back. Thanks for joining us here at The Counselor, and I am your host, Sheldon Stovall. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit something different. We're going to be talking about relationships. And, relationships are huge, especially around Valentine's Day. People, they're having all these emotions. You don't know what to buy. Should you buy diamonds or silver or gold or even maybe platinum if you know a few people? So what we're going to talk about today is just some things that goes on in relationships. So I don't want to always take the negative point of view, but for this section, we're going to talk about signs about when someone is unfaithful. So before we do that, let's talk about some of the basic ideas about a relationship. What is a relationship? Why am I in it? Why do I feel the things I do? And again, people, we're talking to people who are watching my show who are 18 to 24. So what are the basic ideas of a relationship? Relationships can give rise to feelings of passion, right? Fulfillment, and also cause much agony when things fall apart. One thing I noticed about young couples is that when you guys argue, it's almost like you're on the brink of destruction. It's almost like, oh my God, if we don't resolve this, we're going to break up forever, never be together again, and things are just going to fall apart. It's not that serious. Because at the end of the day, a relationship has to be agreeable with two people. All right? So there are many factors that can positively or negatively impact relationships. Attaining a balance is necessary to ensure the longevity of such relationships, which can even impact the quality of your life. So say you meet someone, you're in love, you feel it anyways, and you think you might have a future with that person. So some of the things you need to think about is, what makes me feel like this? Why is this person always on my mind? Why is it that I'm waiting for that phone call at lunchtime at 12 o'clock? And it's 11:59 and 32 seconds, and you're sitting there wondering when you're going to hear from that person. So a relationship means that you care about that person. You care about what's going on with them. You care about how they're breathing that morning. You care about, how they slept that night. A relationship, right? So what is the true meaning of love in a relationship? So love in a relationship takes many forms. And a couple can also be in a relationship for a considerable amount of time without realizing its true meaning. So there are couples out here, and I've met quite a few, who, when they argue, they're saying the same thing. And I've actually had issues. I've had clients who have literally been in my office, and they're both going at it. And I'm listening, but nothing but love. Love is in the air. I'm listening to it. Cupid shot an arrow, and that one's behind, and the other one's too. So as a counselor, I'm sitting there, it's like, wow, look at this. It's so beautiful, right? So sometimes you guys are arguing, and you're saying the same things, but because you're such a new couple, because you've become like one in a sense, that yes, it is different. It is different. You feel something on the inside. And I've been in love a few times, so I can tell you this, that it almost feels like when you separate, someone's literally cutting your heart in two. So when you finally find the person that you love, you finally find the person that you think you might be able to spend the rest of your life with, you realize its true meaning. Love is a relationship that takes time to bloom, but completes a relationship. So, although, yes, I don't know if anybody of you are cultivators, if you ever grow anything. When a flower begins to bloom, the seasons change, right? So, we talk about spring love all the time. We talk about winter babies. We talk about, summer follies, right? So when you fall in love, there is a copulation between the two of you. You start liking the same music, right? You start enjoying, when you're not seeing each other, listen to some of the songs you guys sing together. So it's all about a combination. All right. And we're going to have a guest talk to us a little bit later. We're going to talk about love. Love is a beautiful thing. Love is kind. Love is sweet. Love is understanding. Right? Love finds no fault. The farts don't stink. I'm sure you guys have been in situations where even like they pass little gas and you're like, honey, you still smell good. So love, it kind of hides faults. It kind of makes you feel different, right? So to define a relationship and the role of loving it, there's some things that you think you need to think about. So I'm going to give you guys just a few things from the counselor, because we're all feeling love in the air. So we're going to talk about a few things from the counselor that's going to help people start identifying love, right? What is the true role of intimacy in a relationship? Intimacy is the glue that holds a relationship together. So, although you guys may have issues, you may argue about something so stupid as him looking at someone for 2 seconds longer than what he should have. Or she put on the most attractive outfit in the world to go to work. Here's the thing you need to realize, that she's not putting it on for anybody else. She just wanted you to notice that she was beautiful, right? And even some of you guys, you were at the gym. I watch TikTok every day. TikTok cracks me up with all these internet models that are like literally at the gym for 6 and 7 hours a day. I do have a couple best friends who are TikTok models, by the way. And they're at the gym 6 and 7 hours a day. That's a lot. It takes a lot to be beautiful. Thank God I just woke up like this. Anyway, so love is more important when it becomes an individual thing, and it hits anybody at any time. And my point of this show today is just to kind of talk about love, because love hurts. Love is painful. Love is scary. It's frightening, right? And you do the craziest things in the world because of love, right? Love makes you do some crazy things. I think there was a song somewhere in the 50s or 60s, and I'm not that old and I don't remember any of those, but love makes you do some crazy things. All right. So how to have a healthy sexual relationship. The mere presence of physical intimacy does not guarantee that a relationship will be happy. So just because y'all be getting it done and it's real good doesn't mean that you're happy. It just means that you're getting it done and it's real good. It's a little bit more complicated than that. There's a chance that you have no idea that you're in an unhealthy relationship. So yes, sex is very important in relationships, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be happy. Happiness comes from within, and gold, jewelry, satisfaction, Christmas presents, Valentine's Day presents, birthday presents, all these things that I don't believe in personally, but I'm going to mention, are very important in some relationships because that determines to that person how much you really are in love. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's not about gifts. It's not about presents. It's about hearing that person in the morning, saying good morning. It's about hearing that person in the afternoon, saying, hi, how was your afternoon? What did you have for lunch this morning? Would you like something for lunch? Right? So love is more important than just getting gifts. And it's so funny because, I often talk about it with my nieces and nephews and other grandchildren that my mom would have. They all love grandma and grandpa on Christmas. Oh, thank you, grandpa. Thank you, grandma. But at the end of the day, you don't see them until the next year. So do you really love your grandparent? Do you really appreciate that they're sacrificing their paycheck for you? So once again, love and relationships. There's much more than gifts. There's much more than saying I love you. It's about action. It's about showing that you're there, being a part of their life, right? So let's talk a little bit more about signs, about what are the signs of a relationship when it's in trouble. So issues in relationships set off certain alarming signs that may or may not be easy to spot. Being on the lookout for such things is the first step towards solving the problems and avoiding them in the future. So, what are you saying, Mr. Counselor? That's me. Yes, love is sweet in the beginning. Everyone wants to do everything for everybody. I mean, if you breathe and you breathe enough too much air, I'm going to blow some more in your mouth. That way you don't lose any, right? Love is pure. It's perfect. It's necessary. How does narcissism affect a relationship? Interesting topic. Narcissism can affect a relationship in different ways. As the narcissistic partner's behavior changes, the power dynamics of the relationship. So when someone who is a narcissist, and I want you guys to look that up, that person is controlling the narrative. They're telling you when to sleep. They're telling you when to wake up. They're telling you when they're tired. They're telling you when you're happy. They're telling you when they're sad. I don't have a problem with narcissists. I think narcissists are great people. I think the terminology of narcissism, manipulators, all that is overdone. When people are happy in their situation, and if you're with a narcissist, you're probably in the best situation you can ever be in. Because that person is already pre-thinking how you are doing. They're already pre-thinking how they're going to make you happy. So there's nothing wrong with being with a narcissist. All right? In my professional opinion. You may not enter into a relationship knowing that your partner is a narcissist and starting doubting yourself when you see your feelings change while trying to cope with the situation. In such a scenario, it's important to identify the signs that narcissism exists and how to deal with that. So, again, sometimes I do research and my producers give me things, and at this point, I don't agree with everything they just sent me. It's important to understand that if someone's paying attention to you and caring about you, they're in love with you and they care about you. And you need to take that into consideration when you're dealing with life situations. Think about it this way. What if you did not have this person? What if this person didn't care that you ate in the morning? What if this person didn't care, the narcissist? What if that narcissist didn't care, how you got to work or how you lived or how you slept? Because that's some of the signs of a narcissist, right? So when that starts to begin going in your mind, you're obviously not meant to be with that person. Because the truth is, when someone cares for someone deeply, yes, we call it narcissism. But yes, they care about you. They want to see you happy. They want to live your life happy with you. So when you're thinking about relationships and you're thinking about drama and arguments and all these other type of things, you really have to understand, observe something full-fledged. A relationship takes time and work. And when you're working with a relationship, that's a time when you need to take things considerably serious and you need to understand what needs to be done. Okay? So, how can you make a relationship work with a narcissist? Loving a narcissist is not an easy thing. Many people suggest that you walk out. I've heard that many times. But if your heart is still set on your partner, then there are always ways that you can make them favor you. So either way, you have to go from your heart. You have to understand from your heart. Your heart tells you where to go. Your heart was built in before you got here. Your heart was formulated while you were in the womb, right? When you were a seed, when you were in your mom's womb, your heart started formulating. So you start understanding what it means to be in love. You love your mother, right? When you come out and they smacking you behind, and you start crying, and who comforts you? Who makes you feel better? Who makes all those feelings go away? Your mom, right? She gives comfort. So love is comforting. It finds no fault. It feels no need to hurt. All right? I know we're coming towards Valentine's Day. That's why we're talking about this. So how do we keep a relationship healthy and happy? The health of a relationship depends on how supportive you are to your partner. What you say versus what you do. Some people can sell you the moon, right? They can sell you the moon for $2.14. All right? It's how you work on the challenges together. It's how you share things. It's how you identify that you need each other. So, more importantly, when you're in a relationship, take the time, step back for a second, because you're in a good place. You're in a good place. When you're in a relationship, you're in a good place. Someone cares about you. And that's important. When someone cares about you, it's no longer you. You're not by yourself in the world. And so many people, they want to disregard relationships. They want relationships to go away. And I can't do this anymore. I've been there, done that. It's hard. But you have to understand, love is meant for everyone. It's meant for you, and you, and you, and you. And why is it meant for you? Right? That's what you need to think about within yourself. And if you feel that you're worthy, if you feel in your heart that you are important, that you are someone that's important, someone else will feel that too. And so many times when I talk to my clients, few things I do say is, are you in a relationship? And a lot of people say no. And it's sad. It hurts my feelings because a relationship is important. It's important to be cared about by someone. When someone else cares about you, it makes you feel different, right? And a lot of times, yes, again, we want to be alone by ourselves and not have anyone around, not have anybody care about us. But that's not what's meant for you. Love is meant for you. It's for you to have someone. So a lot of you guys who, like I said, I talked to quite a few people, and I don't mention names, I don't say anything out the way, but I know for a fact that people do need love. Love hides a lot of things. It takes away some of the baggage that you're carrying. When someone can sit here and love you when you made a mistake and went to jail, when someone can love you past what you did that was wrong, when someone can love you for who you are, it means the world to them. And so my message today from the counselor is to learn how to love and accept love in your life. It's very hard, when I sit here and I talk to certain people and I listen to them. They talk about relationships and they talk about, she's treating me like that, son. She's treating me like that, and here she says this about me, and her friends think this about me, and all these other things you guys say. There's something that you're not getting. There's someone in the world that cares about you. You were born by yourself, and you guys all know the rest, and you're going to die by yourself. But when someone cares about you, that's something to start paying attention to. And many of you, for some reason, you don't want to include love in your life. And like I said, I talk to a lot of people, and that's the first thing I mention to people when I talk with them and we're counseling. Are you in a relationship? Does someone else care about what you're saying? Does someone else hear your point of view? Does someone else understand who you are? It's very important that you start taking the time within yourself to realize that someone loves you too. And love is meant for everyone, everybody. Doesn't matter what you look like, what you sound like, what you feel like, how big you are, how small you are, how tall you are, how skinny you are, what you smell like. There's love for everybody. And what I want you guys to know today, which is why I'm doing the show, someone does love you. And it starts with loving yourself. when you love yourself, when you love who you are, that invites love in to your life, right? What if you lived your life by yourself? Think about the beginning of creation. I mean, the Big Bang, boom, we all appeared. God created Adam and Eve, right? There's only so many definitions of the beginning of life that I can't even go into them all. But at the end of the day, there was somebody for somebody. There was always somebody for someone. And I want you guys to start realizing that love is important. And there's so many times as a counselor, I see that everything else is important to someone else besides themselves. Okay? It starts by you loving yourself and then giving yourself an opportunity to love someone else. Vice versa. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to allow somebody to love you? All right? All right. How to maintain romance in a relationship. Listen to this. Romance is an essential part of a relationship. Yet, as time passes by, feelings change, and many of us forget how it once felt like to romance your partner. I always say to myself when I enter a relationship or if I'm in a relationship, normally when I enter a relationship, I want us to feel like this for the entire time. Think about it. When you start a relationship, you're not fighting. You're not angry with each other. If you do something wrong, oh, boo, 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 I'm sorry, you okay? Right? You get all those little voices and do, right? It's important to remember how it started. Once again, the origin. Because how you identify what's going to happen through your situation is by remembering how it started. When you made a mistake, I pet you. It's okay, baby. 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, what you say? Your behavior changes. Your attitude changes. That's when you have to realize that love no longer exists in that relationship. And we're going to talk about a little bit more on that in part 2. When love is no longer there. But since we're booty and tiny bitty Benny, we're going to keep on going. Small actions, thoughtful acts of novelty, and more can actually bring the forgotten spark back into your relationship. So like I said, little things. Oh, you lost your keys? I found them. I searched for 3 hours until I found them. True story. Okay? I've done it. I literally, my girl lost her keys and we were jogging on the beach together in Malibu and honey couldn't find her keys. So you know what I did? I combed the entire beach. And if anybody's been in Malibu, walking on the beach, jogging up the beach, it's a very long beach and no one's there. And I combed that beach for about 2 hours and I found her keys. Now, we're not in love anymore. Would I have ever done that again? No. Why did I do that? I'm not sure. But at that time, as we say, I was bitten by the love bug. So if you lost your keys on the beach, baby, I'll dig through the sand to find it. So the important thing is maintaining a romance relationship has to do with you remembering Why did I fall in love? What happened when I did? What was I going through? All these arguments, tit for tat, all these things when people begin to develop in a relationship, it's very difficult. It's really hard. It's a trial. When it becomes a trial, when it becomes difficult, when it becomes hard to understand, when it becomes an issue, the one thing you have to do is bring your mind back to when and why this started. And once you understand why and when it started, that's when things begin to change. All right. So I'm going to do a couple more things and I'll be done. What are the best relationship goals? Having relationship goals is necessary to keep things moving in your relationship and it maintaining health or being healthy. These things need to be realistic, becoming each other's best friend, and not just a romantic interest. Resolving issues with maturity and doing something new from time to time are a few things that I can definitely say. How do we keep this spark? How do I keep this love going? Again, I'm the counselor. I don't know everything, but I do know from talking to people and dealing with relationships and talking with people in relationships, it's very important that you keep that spark going. Okay, if you're in love, it's good. It's a good thing. When you start falling out of love, you need to communicate that with your partner. Because when you don't communicate your feelings, that's when things start going awry, right? So when you're in love, let's go back to let's think about when you first fell in love, right? It's been so many times I can't remember. But just thinking back about falling in love, right? How did you sleep last night? Were you okay? Did you hurt your feelings? Did your feelings get hurt when I said that? Right? Do you guys remember? These things are real. Those are initial feelings. That's a true feeling. 6 months, 8 months down the line, you're having your arguments. You're upset. They didn't say something the right way to you. They didn't do something the right way. They didn't make you feel the way they did in the beginning. There's a lot of things that can happen, right? When you're dealing with relationship woes. But the most important thing to do is remember the beginning. Because without the beginning, there is no end. And if there is an end, there was nothing ever there.